Education Week continues here on KTAR. I guess it also starts here on KTAR News, since it's only Monday. We are focusing on education throughout the week, and one of the things that we wanted to focus on today's show had to do with safety in the school. Now, what we discussed to begin with was safety after school. In many cases, after the school ball games, kids are going to the In-N-Out Burger and starting trouble, and so they've modified the way that the way that they do things. At the In-N-Out in Gilbert. But Joe, I was on vacation, and the story about the high school hazing with the wrestling coach seemed to break when you and I believe Pamela was in here for me, and you guys were covering this. This was at Liberty High, right?
Yes. So we sat down and we talked with Arizona Republic reporter Hannah Dreyfus, and also one of the young men who she talked to for this story regarding hazing the Liberty High School wrestling team, Ryder Fortenberry. Ryder's 19 years old now, no longer in high school. But when we talked with Ryder made claims that approximately, according to him, 70 to 80% of the students involved in the wrestling program had been hazed at some point in time. And when I say hazing,
yes,
I'm not going to get super graphic when I say these things, but he made allegations of a penetration pole. Use your imagination about what happens with the penetration pole. Basically, a 4 to 5 foot broomstick.
Okay.
And where
my imagination.
There you go.
Doesn't need any more help than that.
Things in like teabagging, where again you drop your pants and you stick your you-know-what right in front of a young man's face. Other things along that line of thought. Things that go well beyond just taking a towel and smacking a fanny.
Okay, so all right. It's not towel snapping.
Yeah.
It's pretty graphic, really.
Sexualized hazing.
Sexualized hazing.
Yes.
Okay.
From other students was the claim. But what Ryder also wanted to point out, which has become the central part of the story, or another big part of it, is that the head coach and other coaches from the Liberty High School team, the head coach, Eric Brenton, was in the room when many of these things occurred and did nothing about it. Referred to it as just kind of boys being boys and kind of part of the culture.
A rite of passage, he said,
Yeah.
in one text.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm trying to think back. I played some sports when I was younger.
Same here. Penetration pole in.
Did they have anybody
sports
crack out the mop when you were in high school?
No, I got punched in the shoulder a number of times, but never did I feel like I was touched inappropriately.
And you went to.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it! Stop!
Yeah.
Stop!
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that time too, huh?
In the 90s,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
He went to Father Gabriel Iglesias Rashad's
Apostolic on the road on the Rock of Gibraltar.
School for wayward boys.
Yeah.
Exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
I don't remember though either. I remember like him. Maybe punches or those like noogies.
Yeah. Noogies, yes.
That's
the
never
knuckle,
like
the
what
knuckle
Joe
on the
was
skull.
talking about a couple minutes ago. That was graphic.
So now you talked to somebody who's a parent and then an alleged victim.
So Ryder's dad came in studio with him as well and didn't know he was going to be here that day. But yeah, Ryder's dad talked all about this along with Ryder as well. Ryder made claims that his young brother also, his name was Rex, was speaking out about this, but Rex was not here that day. But yeah, they are two of the young men who make claims that a number of things were happening.
I think Colton Krolak, our KTAR reporter, did a follow-up on this.
He did.
As well, and he talked to some other parents.
Who had a very different story.
Colton joins us right now. Colton, thanks a lot for taking time. I know that you're a bit under the weather, so we really do appreciate you doing that. So,
no, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, what did the other parents say then when you talked with them, and what are some of the others saying about the situation?
Yeah, so I first reached out to, I did a story on this young wrestler who was recipient of a heart transplant when he was a child, and then really a big success story, became a wrestler at Liberty, which is a big time program for wrestling. And he's been participating in all sorts of sports since that time. So I reached out to them because I knew that he had wrestled at Liberty and wanted to see is this as widespread as what's, being reported? And did they know of anything about this? So I spoke with Dylan McQueen and his mother, Melissa McQueen, and they both said that they had no knowledge of this. I know it was reported in that AZ Republic story that this was widespread. I know that Ryder Fortenberry said that 80% of people had experienced this. Talking with Dylan, he didn't believe that was the case. He thought the culture was very above board, and in fact, they were really strict about hazing and had a big rule about against it. So that wasn't something that he thought was something that went on. And I specifically asked about that penetration poll that you guys were talking about, because it sounded like this was a kind of a widespread thing as well, that after people had reported about it, that the coach had come forward and kind of made this announcement like, hey, no more penetration poll. So I asked him about that. Was this something that everybody knew about, that the coach even had to make an announcement saying to stop doing it? And when he read that, he said that his mouth dropped because he'd never heard of anything like that.
So just for clarity, Colton, the timeline is parallel here, right? The young man you spoke to was at the school at the same time that these incidents were alleged to have gone on.
Correct. And
okay.
Actually, he has been in Coach Brenton's program. So they have like a junior wrestling program as well before the kids even get into high school, like going all the way back to middle school. So he's been in Coach Brenton's program for the last 10 years or so. And then I also spoke to another wrestler, AJ Russell, who also has been in the program for about the same amount of time. And he also said that he's never experienced anything like this.
Talking with our reporter, Colton Krolak, about allegations of sexualized hazing at Liberty High School in their powerhouse wrestling program. Colton, that's a good point you make there. Ryder Fortenberry, who had talked with us on the show a number of weeks ago, said any given day there could be up to 100 kids in a practice. And like you said, it's both a junior program from middle school students even up through high schoolers. So a high school wrestling team may have a dozen or 24 kids there, but when you start to get into some of the other kids, it could be upwards of 100 kids or so there. You mentioned that that you had heard about a strict policy regarding hazing. Tell us a little bit more about that. Do the coaches talk about, hey, we're not going to allow this or this or this? When you said strict policy on hazing, what goes into that?
I more meant, at least what I gathered from talking to them, that it was a culture that was very family oriented, that you wouldn't do this to other people. I think it was more, they didn't tell me exactly if there was a hard and fast policy that says if you do hazing, this is your punishment and all of that. But it was more of your family, your brothers, you wouldn't do this. They didn't specifically say what the policy was, but that there was a rule, there was a code of conduct that they were expected to follow in regards to their other wrestlers that were in the program.
Has there been any fallout? Do we know of any, and I know personnel records are tough to come by. Do we know of anyone being punished for anything along the way? I know that there was an investigation. The investigation turned up a recruiting violation. And then the investigation was reopened because some people said that the initial investigation wasn't good enough. Do we know?
Yeah, so this is actually the third time that this investigation has been reopened in the last year and a half. So as far as I know, there aren't any new people who have come forward with allegations in that time, but doing extensive, more follow-up to try to put this to bed or find who is responsible, if there is anyone responsible. So I know that they recently had a Peoria Unified School Board meeting where a bunch of wrestlers and their families and alumni came out to speak in support of Coach Brenton. So I'm not sure exactly where this process is now. I know that the police are continuing to investigate and that Coach Brenton is on leave until that investigation concludes.
Our reporter, Colton Krolak, thank you very much for joining us, Colton, and doing some phenomenal work there, talking to additional parents and students regarding accusations of sexualized hazing at Liberty High School in the wrestling program. We appreciate it, Colton.
Thank you, guys.
All right. So one side says there was all kinds of shenanigans going on. The other side says, nope, nothing happened. Is it possible that both sides are right? Is it possible that Coach Brenton was a tremendous wrestling coach who also trained some of the best athletes in the state, but was enabling a culture of abuse that permeated throughout his team and ruined the lives of a number of the students?
Thanks for watching The Chris and Joe Show. Click to see more from Chris and Joe and tap the button in the middle to subscribe to KTAR News.